You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
When I told him off,
Hello and welcome to the 401st edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight we have Ray. What's up, Ray?
hello, hello.
And Jess. What's going on, Jess?
Kapow.
Kapow.
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for participating, listening to, and having a good time with episode 400. We had a lot of fun putting that together. Lots of games, everything. If you happen to miss it, go ahead and check it out. It was an episode just one back from the one you're listening to right now. We had a representation from basically every game that we've played over the year. Well, not every. I can't come up with all of them, right? I mean, we've played so many damn games over the years. But put together a few games and had a nice little fun activity with one of our favorites, Will. So please go back, check out 400 if you haven't yet. And episode 401, you guys, let's get into it a little bit here. Tonight, we've got some roundtable quests we're getting into from the first Fallout game, Fallout Classic. We'll be going through the last batch of activity there, visiting the military base up there in the northwest corner, Mariposa. Also, a trip all the way down to the southwest of Cathedral. Well, I prepared a little bit of a game to prepare us for the big game this weekend. I don't want to get sued, so we can't call it the the Booper Soul. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. The Booper Soul. That would be a really fun one.
Boop. So we'll play a little soup-related game here in just a little bit. We got some iguana bits and some shouts on the way out the door. I'd like to start this show off this week, you guys, though, with a little bit of an email from our good buddy Keith. So let's check in with Keith, see what he has to say here. Hey, guys. Good morning. A while ago on the show, a topic was perk cards best to use for your character. Well, I was wondering, if possible, that could be a discussion again at some point. While I'm messing with commando build, I'm thinking about going back to melee. Andrew, I know you've talked about doing a melee pistol build before. How do you got your cards set up for that? Thanks, Keith. So he's been doing a commando build, you guys. We've been seeing him chit-chat a little bit about that in the group chat. And I know Eric and people have got him sort of set up with the build cards for that. But it sounds like he wants to maybe lean back into the melee a little bit. What do you guys think for melee card builds? I assume he's talking about 76 at this point, right? We have to assume he's talking about Fallout 76.
Yeah, when he starts talking perks and cards, yeah.
Yeah, so, because it was a chart or some shit in Fallout 4. So, Jess, what do you think? You ever go melee? I know your shotguns usually. Do you have a melee sort of favorites you'd like to do?
Well, my last 76 roundtable character, which, 2 years now, but that was Wendy. And yeah, Wendy was a melee build. And so I learned a little bit from that. There's that and the fact that I do unarmed, and there's a lot of similarity there, But most of the cards I feel like you need are pretty obvious at this point. You understand that you need blocker and, incisor is a great one. Make sure you're leveling up incisor if you're doing a melee, so you cut through that armor a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind that perception, concentrated fire doesn't do as much. You can't pick a body part, but getting at least one level of concentrated fire makes a real difference on your VATS targeting.
Yeah. For melee, again, Jess said unarmed. Keith, you said melee. I'm generally not a melee guy. I'm unarmed. I know that the distinction is kind of minimal, but I do unarmed. And one of the reasons that I do unarmed instead of melee is that you can get, instead of a 5, 10, 15 boost with all the melee cards, you have 3 different cards, and each of them have 3 steps. In order to get all of those, that takes up 9 points of your strength. I do unarmed because it's just that one unarmed card, and to max it out, it's only 3 max points. So I get a lot more distribution, a lot more freedom if I do unarmed instead of melee. So you do that unarmed card at max power, and then you do the one that has the fastest swing speed, and then you do the one that cuts through armor, like Jess was mentioning. And those are the 3 cards I concentrate on. And then other than that, you're free to play with strength as you will. You can do the more carry weight, the strong back, you carry the ammunition, you carry your medicines. All those cards are useful, but they're not specifically for the melee or unarmed builds. So I specifically go unarmed because it takes fewer points to reach max damage. Now, the weapons themselves change, so I don't know if it's actually more efficient to do it through melee, and if your max damage might be actually higher with melee. But I get such a freedom with my cards that I always go the unarmed route just because it takes fewer. And Jess mentioned she likes to do the VATS targeting card in the perception. I like to do a perception of 4 generally, so I can have a 3 max out. And if I'm doing the intelligence build for maximum XP, I will always put on the night person card because that gives you an extra intelligence after 6 p.m. And that helps with gaining XP. If I'm not doing that, I will always have glow sight on so that glowing enemies get extra damage. And that way you can go to something like what's the ghouls running up out of that event? My brain is out.
Line in the sand? What are we talking about?
They're inside, and there's all the ghouls coming up out of. You go harvest the uranium down in the little pits, and the ghouls are rushing up out of there. And
Rad Rumble.
Rad Rumble. Rad Rumble. You need your glow sight on there, and Rad Rumble, you just melt through things, and then you get so much XP and points in there. So,
glow sight is great in those cases. I do agree that unarmed, he asked melee, but unarmed I think is generally more versatile and more fun in 76. At least, there are more weapons you can choose from for melee, but you get the right gauntlet or something, and unarmed is the way to go.
Well, also, you can't just choose melee either. You have to choose one-handed or two-handed. You can't use everything. You have to get specific about it too, So it's not any more. Jess is right. I think unarmed is totally more versatile. Ray, do you have an opinion on this matter at all? I know you're generally running around with other stuff, but do you ever do the melee / unarmed? Do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, I've got a character that she started out with the meat hook because that was bugged at one time to where it was getting the unarmed and melee damage.
Yikes.
But then switched to a Deathclaw Gauntlet afterward, just scrapped all the melee cards.
Yeah. So you also feel that unarmed is probably the way to go effectively, right?
But again, it kind of depends. So I have one that uses the auto axe because that's just fun. To run around and and chop people up. But I think overall effectiveness, the unarmed build is definitely a good way to go.
I assume it's a two-handed weapon. Is that auto axe a two-handed?
Yeah, it's two-handed.
Yeah. I don't think you can wield that thing waving it with one arm.
Just to kind of wrap up about some other skills that you might find important when you're up close and personal like that, because it does make a difference. Just like I do with shotguns or anyone does with melee or unarmed, you're going to be right in the line of fire more often. So on top of blocker, you're going to want barbarian. Get a little more DR off that extra strength you have because of that. Iron Fist to help out. Perception, we were talking about the cards there. Said at least one concentrated fire or multiple, like Andrew was saying. That glow sight is good. In charisma, if you're on a team, it doesn't matter as much, but Tenderizer and Suppressor are good cards for this kind of build because you're in there and you want to reduce the damage they're giving you and maximize your damage to them while you're on top of them.
Yeah,
Nerd Rage, of course, whether you're bloodied or not, Nerd Rage is going to be awesome when you're right in there because you never know when you're going to get hit a lot. Fireproof too. Over in agility, don't neglect Action Girl, Evasive, and Dodgy is a fun one. If you're not doing VATS melee, Dodgy is the way to go. But it does use AP when you skip getting hit, so that one's kind of iffy. And then when I do unarmed, at least with a like catfight stuff, with the truly unarmed, I tend to lean heavily into luck. So, bloody mess, serendipity, better crits, maybe 4-leaf clover, a mix of all of that, and then obviously your starch genes if you need it.
Yeah. He was also asking about pistols. I've been doing my alien blaster for months now. I'm really liking that. The only drawback with that is you have to get, just like I think faster swing speed is the ultimate legendary effect for any melee or unarmed weapon. I could get instigating or furious or whatever. That doesn't matter if it's not faster swing speed. That is first and foremost, faster swing speed is the most important because it increases your damage per second. You're dealing more damage in a shorter period of time. So that is my absolute most important thing. But with pistols, it's quad. It doesn't matter what sort of attack style you want to do with a pistol, which pistol you're going to use. Quad to me is by far the most important legendary effect. Even though it's not the main effect, it's the secondary star, but it is by far the most important star to me for using pistols. Just because, especially with like the 6-shot, god damn, they do some damage, but holy fuck, they take forever to reload. So you don't want to reload those things ever. So with my alien blaster, I get 256 shots with this damn thing before I have to reload it. So
it allows you to really spam it and go fast. I mean, that's why I use the quad on my double barrel, because obviously 2 isn't enough. 8 still isn't great, but
it's
at that rate. But yeah, because you're using it not like an automatic, but you're shooting it really quickly. So you don't want to have to stop that quick fire and reload. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, I think anti-armor is a good prefix on pistol too. Anything to cut down the armor, because you're not doing as much damage per bullet unless, well, with a few of the heavy pistols you are. But it's still going to be lower.
I think the pistols cards are all kind of obvious too. There's, you load the pistols cards, but I think the most important one, in addition to the base pistols card, is I don't even remember what it's called. The one where, and I always use VATS, Keith. So if you're not a VATS guy, this is probably bad advice. But
right.
You use the VATS that when you make a kill on an enemy, it hops to the next enemy automatically. Gun Fu, I think it's called. So I always use Gun Fu with a pistol VATS build, because it just lets me melt through one person and then bam, it hops to the next person, and I don't have to aim because I am fucking terrible shot down the barrel. Like I can't hit stuff. So I'm always a VATS guy. And those pistol builds, I think it's really basic with the pistols card. Plus on top of that, you got to do Gun Fu to boot. You guys have a pistols recommendation to the card there?
Not much more than what you've said. No, you're going to maximize your perception. I do think if you can get the explosive attribute, pistol is a great use case for that too, where, use your fireproof, use your cards to, what is it, bombardier, whichever one increases your explosion radius. That really helps.
That does. Yep, I have that one loaded too. So cool. All right, Keith. Hopefully that clears up a few card questions. Please hit us back if you have anything else or need more clarification. Hey, let's get into our gameplay a little bit. Ray, did you get a chance to play any video games this week?
I did, and it was almost all Fallout 4.
No way. Oh, 4? What are you doing?
Nice.
Yeah, I've got it bad. So bad.
Making me jealous.
It's been a lot of fun. So still playing my my sneaky combat knife guy. I also started a rifle character. Just because. And I've really been gravitating towards energy weapons lately for whatever reason. Trying to get, it's not a weapon that I've used a lot over the years, so it's one that I'm really trying to explore the benefits of it. But I'm really starting to question the worth of Deacon's Cloak and Dagger perk.
You have to remind me what it is. Is it a a sneaky thing, extra damage?
Yeah, so you
something?
get 20% more sneak attack damage.
Okay.
And you also get longer stealth boy duration, but I never use them. So
Yeah, who uses
Right.
those? Come on.
But he is such a pain in the butt.
What,
You
to
know,
have
he's
as a
supposed to
follower?
be such a he's supposed to be such a sneaky character. But he blows sneak constantly. So
Just alerting bad guys to your presence, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have him with you to improve your sneak, but then he doesn't let you use sneak because he's always blowing your cover.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah. So
I don't think I've noticed that with him before.
yeah.
Well, how's he doing?
Well,
Is he rushing
he's-
into battle or what? What's he doing?
Well, no, he does engage enemies that don't necessarily know you're there, which is one way he blows cover. And the other one is he wanders far away from you, and ends up engaged with enemies that you would not necessarily have run into yourself if you were going through. Some of it is because I'm super high sneak, and so I think if I wasn't as sneaky as I am, it wouldn't be bothering me as much. But because I am high sneak and using it to the max, he does bug the crap out of me.
So you're gonna ditch him?
Well, at this point, I almost have, I'm kind of past that tipping point. Although I've got to start doing some stuff that he doesn't like. And so
You're not gonna kill the railroad, are you?
maybe.
I think he's gonna kill the railroad.
I mean, it all depends if he goes all ad victoriam on us. He's not going to go that way either. So
No,
we'll
I
see.
started off with the Brotherhood, but to get righteous authority.
Mhm.
But I'll be institute.
Actually,
go ahead.
since this character is more melee, you were saying with the combat knife, is that really why Deacon's also blowing your cover more because you're getting in
no,
close and giving more opportunity?
That character doesn't have any companions.
Oh, okay. As it should be.
Zero. Yeah.
Hard to make a friend.
Because that one, I mean, I can bump into people and they don't see me.
It's been so long since I played 4, Ray. How does the follower perk work? And what are your commands to the follower like? Can you say, "Hey Deacon, just wait here outside this door. Let me go in and do this." And will you still have his sneak perk, and will he stay where you tell him to? Can you do that? I forget.
Once you get his affinity to the max and get the perk,
that never goes away even if you dismiss him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
you have that forever. Okay.
Boom, that comes up, then immediately go into dialogue, dismiss him, and
Get rid of him.
move the
Okay.
hell on.
Yeah, all right.
Um,
Will he stay though if you tell him to stay? If you say
Yeah.
if you go into a Corvega and you say, "Just wait out here, please. Let me go in and deal with this." Will he be outside when you're done?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's some of the things that get tedious with him. So he doesn't like you to do drugs.
Yeah.
So when I pop grape mentats, to get the best deal, on something I'm buying, he gets all fussy, and Deacon doesn't like that.
I
Deacon
forget.
can
They have
either cover the loss or shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pay me the extra 12 caps I would have saved. The I'm just so used to Fallout 1 right now. Is there a proximity command with followers in 4? Can you tell them to stay close, stay middle, stay further away, that type of stuff?
Yeah, there's some control over that. Um, but I never, bother to mess around with that. I mean,
Okay.
mostly because I don't think of it because I never have followers.
Right. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that the expert on followers and companions, Andrew, is asking Ray about companion commands in Fallout 4.
It's just been over a year since I played the damn game, and then I'm so used to yelling at fucking Ian and Tycho now that I'm just like, God damn it, you guys, what the hell? I just forget how they behave, and like, well, I almost said how when they finally learn how to start behaving, but I don't know if they're any better in the later games or not.
They are better, but they're still not great. Like Casey says in chat, those commands are really far too clunky. It's like in New Vegas, you'd be like, prefer range, prefer melee, stay close, stay far. In 4, it's pretty much similar. It's at most an on-off toggle of close, far, melee, not.
Yeah.
You do better by kind of determining what weapons they have. Giving them the gear you want them to use. And in 4, they actually do use the gear you want them to use better than in Fallout 1. So there's that.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of that, good Lord, when you hey Tycho, what weapons are you proficient at? I don't know, not a lot. Maybe just pistol, maybe a small rifle and a knife. Okay. Hey Ian, buddy, what are you proficient at? I don't know, not much. Maybe small guns, maybe a pistol and a knife. Like, wait a second, that's the same as. How about you, Catherine or Katarina or whatever the hell your name? Oh, I don't know. Small guns, maybe a rifle and a knife. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Has anyone got big guns here? What the goddamn is going on? Can I get a motherfucking minigun follower, please?
Well, yeah, I gave Tycho a minigun and he liked it just fine.
He would not fucking touch the plasma rifle I get. I'm like, I'm taking everything away from you. Just only use that. No, he refuses to use it. He'll go up and start punching people. I'm like, what are you doing?
And we came across the crashed spaceship, and so I gave him the alien blaster.
No way.
And he used that too.
Do you get infinite alien blaster rounds?
No.
You only found a few?
No, I think it uses just the microfusion
Oh, it just
cells.
uses, okay. It doesn't have its own ammo. Wow.
Easier back then. Nice. Yeah, give Ian a power fist if you get a power fist. He's good at punching things. I like him not having weapons. He's killing me and dog meat and everybody else less.
You ever noticed him when he's doing his like battle, like how he does his high kicks? It looks like he's doing aerobics because he's like doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, like how he's like just kicking the same. It's calm down, Ian. Oh, all right, you guys. What else are you getting into there, Ray? Any other Fallout 4 stuff? You said you've been playing pretty much that.
Yeah, so I have to imagine that I'm just not remembering because it's hard to imagine that there is any scenario left that I haven't experienced. But so in my most recent character, the rifle character, I have not engaged with dog meat at all. Never said hello, pat him on the head, anything. And
did you get in the have you walked through the cell that the Red Rocket is in? Like you have passed by him, so he is activated and everything.
The Red Rocket was the location of Mercer's safe house. For Pam at the railroad.
Yeah. So you got to go do some drop.
I made the Red Rocket the Mercer safe house, but I never talked to Dogmeat. And so when I got to the the Kellogg's house quest, and Nick and I are trying to figure out how we're going to track down Kellogg. He says, "Oh, I've got an idea. I know a guy. I can give him a call. He's really good at at finding people."
His name is Dog, and he's a bounty hunter. Dog the bounty hunter rolls in, and you're like, dude.
And so I said, okay, sure. That's fine. And so he goes, now I'm going to call him, but you're not going to be able to hear it.
Oh, wow.
And then he puts his fingers up to his mouth and then takes him down. Okay, he's on his way.
So he did this silent dog whistle.
Right.
Had you not noticed that before? I don't think I'd noticed that before. I don't know if I've
No,
ever
I've
done
never-
it where you have to set up the parameters where you have zero clue who Dog Meat is.
Right.
And this is when he doesn't know Dog Meat's name, or he just calls him Dog or whatever, right? Dog Meat isn't called Dog
he
Meat
knows
until...
him. He knows him as Dog Meat.
Does he? I thought there was
Yeah.
some weird thing where this in the script the character's named Dog until a certain threshold is met, and then he starts being referred to as Dog Meat or something. Am I incorrect about
Well,
that?
if you take him as a follower, that's the case up until you get to Mama Murphy.
And then Mama Murphy tells you his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, so if I wanted to, I could have gone back to the museum and asked Mama Murphy what the dog's name was while she's sitting on the bench waiting for somebody to come
You always
finish
let
that
them
quest.
you just let those
they
people
can go
starve to
Sanctuary.
death. Yeah, you just let those people hang in the wind.
There's all kinds of stuff. They just have to go rummage through the drawers and find it.
I mean, there's a literal bobblehead sitting on the table that they're all scared to touch. I'll just walk up and grab it. I don't know what they're waiting on.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing that it's just never, because I very rarely travel with Dog Meat, but I almost always get him.
He's hard to miss too. I mean, if you come over the bridge, if you want to wade the water.
Yeah. So, but the thing is that unless you actually enter into that conversation with him, it doesn't register the interaction with him.
That's really fun.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I usually use him to get the fusion core out of the mole rat den. And then
Why?
Tell him why. So that I don't take any radiation.
Are you a power armor guy or what?
No.
Why do you need why do you need the power core, the fusion core thing?
Because they're worth a lot of money.
Just sell them, right?
Yeah. When you're a little, newbie,
level 1,
fresh out of the vault.
Well, you're level
that
2
stuff's
when you
valuable.
leave, right? I don't remember.
No, that's 76.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're usually about halfway through level 1.
Do you do the Victor thing where you have a save right in front of where you have to decide your final sex and face and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't ever go through the background anymore?
No.
That's smart. I've been wanting to fire up Fallout 4 too, Ray.
It's so much fun.
But then I think I don't want to fucking go through all these fucking mods and stuff again. Ugh. Does that mean I want to play vanilla, or what does that mean?
I'm playing straight up vanilla.
Now, you don't have the unofficial patch installed or anything?
Nope.
Any trouble? Do you notice things?
No. I mean, other than the fact that, the leaves on the trees aren't, fall colors.
What are we talking right now? We're talking Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And I thought you were saying Fallout 2, Andrew. You're talking installing Fallout 4 again as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to reinstall it or anything. I was just intimidated to go through all my goddamn mods because last time
we did great with that setup.
50,000 mods, but there was one spot in my goddamn camp I couldn't walk. It crashed every time, so I just had to stop going back to my camp. And I'm like, well, shit, I can't go home now, so I have to establish a new camp or something. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, and you can get by without any mods, of course. Like last time, I feel like they grew. Like when we did our Fallout 4 roundtable, almost 2 years ago now, by the way. I mean, that one wrapped up, I think, July of 2021. So it's like a year and a half, 2 years almost.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played.
And you started with maybe 15 to 20 mods, and I had 80 to 100. And as it went on, you're like, Jess, how about this? How about this? And I ended with 50 or 60.
I got into trouble. I did. And I got into spots I couldn't step, and I just had to start. Instead of playing the game, I was playing the mods, if that makes sense.
Which,
I was trying
you weren't that much, but more than you usually do, I would say.
I just couldn't play my normal stuff. I was like, God, I want to go home.
It's the reason I'm holding off, and obviously I'm just as tempted as the rest of you, and especially with Ray talking about it. I was he was in, and then he was slowing down. I'm like, oh, okay, good, and now he's back in, and we're gonna be doing another Fallout 4 roundtable or gameplay soon enough, I'm sure. But I'm waiting for that next gen release, and we don't know when it's coming out yet, but it should be this year, and so I really want to go back when we get our Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. But I've been in. We'll get to my gameplay in a minute. But I've been in Fallout 4 a lot this weekend too. But I'm not actually playing it. So
Well, Jess,
just taking pictures.
they've got to fine tune it to make sure that it looks really good on the Switch for when they release it on Switch. Still holding out. It's going to happen. I promise. All right. What else is going on in 4, right?
So it's been a lot of fun being back in Fallout 4. So
sounds good. And then you got some Fallout 1 gameplay as well. Is that all stuff for the quest, or?
Yeah. It was all because it was just absolutely kicking my ass. So
Lee said crickets. Yeah, you might need to put some crickets in there, Andrew. When you mentioned Fallout 4 and Switch, because we're all just like, yeah.
I know
Andrew.
no one else cares, but it's gonna happen.
I used to.
Why do you think they put
push for
Skyrim
it
on the
for you.
Switch? Why would they bother doing that shit? Huh?
I mean, if they're gonna do
practice.
it,
It's practice for 4.
when they're working on the next gen, would be a great time to all support it for Switch or Fallout 3, but they're probably not going to. But we'll see. But
Dare you?
speaking of May 12th, Andrew, May 12th, you've heard the news, right?
What?
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
I haven't even finished Breath of the Wild yet. Shit. I had some drift on my controllers, which is fine for most of the Switch games. You don't need to be that precise, but Zelda is one where you do need to be able to pinpoint your sword swings, and depending on which angle your Joy-Con is at, is like he does a swipe from upper left to bottom right, or crossways, or does like his swings are so dependent upon your orientation of the controllers, because there's gyroscopes in there, so if you pick it up a little bit, he'll swing a sword up and stuff, so with any drift, it sucks, and it just sucked the fun out of it. So, and I sent off my Joy-Cons and got those recalibrated, so those should be fine now, and that was fucking year ago, and I still haven't picked it back up again, so I need to finish, I need to finish Breath of the Wild. I still had 2 of the main, there's like 4 big main demigod things you have to beat. I've done 2 of them, so I doubt I'm even halfway through the game. You know what I mean? I probably still have a long time to play in that. But that'd be fun to play with Mo, because he's been, like I mentioned last couple weeks, because of that Mario movie, he's just going off the deep end with Switch and Nintendo, and just watching all these YouTube videos on the history of Mario and Jumpman and the connection. He just watched this 4-hour video today about every Mario game that's ever been, and the interconnected stories in between all. It was just crazy. I was like, holy shit, Mo, you are really into this Mario stuff right now. But yeah, so Breath of the Wild, what's the second one called? Breath of the Wild 2?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Terrible name.
Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, what is that even? Breath of the Wild is B-O-T-W. That's easy.
Yeah.
T-O-T-W.
T-O-T-K.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, K. Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Exciting news. The Game Boy. It's how the Switch has. You can access old Nintendo Entertainment System, the 8-bit games. Well, they just added a new app where you can play all the old original Game Boy games, too. So Mo's really excited about that. He's playing the original Kirby game today. So
It's cool that they're porting some of that stuff and bringing in some old stuff. I mean, it was a decent Nintendo Direct. For those who don't know, there was a Nintendo Direct yesterday, and it was decent. There was some cool stuff announced, neat stuff happening. I'm not I don't play on Switch, so don't pay that close attention, but I know a lot of our Nintendo friends are excited.
Yeah, I need to touch base with Eric and see what's going on with that. All right. Ray, were you getting anything else, bud?
Just a little bit of Skyrim. We recorded an episode this week.
What you concentrating on right now?
I don't concentrate on anything.
Just
I've
run
got
around.
3 characters running. So yeah, probably the closest thing to concentration is I've got a complete playthrough character going. That's designed to hit every single faction and part of the game. So
is that sort of like your museum character that you're running, where you have to collect every item, do every quest, that sort of thing?
Kind of like that.
I thought that was fun. And you guys have been just talking about Skyrim. I've been really wanting to hop back into Skyrim now. And now that we're on Scorecation, I fucking finished Fallout 1. I sat down yesterday and I was like, all right, now I got to wait, I don't got to play anything. Oh my God, I have a choice now of what games I can play. And you know what? I just didn't play games. I was like, or I could walk the fuck away. But
Well, and it's like last week you were jumping in and you were playing 76 even on Scorecation.
I need a little bit of
choice.
I was building my fox hunting camp. I thought that was fun. So, yeah, I don't know. So God, maybe hop into a little Starfield. No, cannot Starfield. That won't be out till Q1 next year, right, Jess?
Wrong.
Right.
No.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play some. I don't know, Fallout 4. I thought about buying Fallout 2 and hopping into that a little bit early before we do a roundtable about it, but I was like, yeah, maybe I'll hold off on that. And I was like, ooh, there's Tactics too. I hear that one's weird. Maybe I'll play that. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. Maybe we'll hold off on that too. Save those for roundtable. It's like, are we really going to do a Fallout Tactics roundtable? Come on, Andrew. No way that'll ever happen.
Well, the thing is that at this rate, we did not expect you guys to like Fallout 1 as much as you have. And you've taken to it. And so we're probably going to do Fallout 2 coming up soon. And I'm okay with it for various reasons. But also, I just love how we've learned more about the series and the conversations it's promoted. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So once you've done 1 and 2, I mean, why not Tactics? Right? You know what I mean? It's like taking that one last bite of the meal you weren't so sure about, but isn't so bad. Really, the combat is similar. I love tactics games traditionally myself, XCOM style or Final Fantasy Tactics. And really, from what I understand, Fallout Tactics is similar to what we're playing now, just a little more tactical, but not a whole lot.
I don't even know what that means. What's Tactics actually mean? What's a tactics game? What does that actually mean?
Really turn-based combat. Turn-based combat on a grid, which is essentially what we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing
when you pause to win a time. Yeah. Yep.
Very cool.
But it's a little bit more encounter-based as opposed to, normally a tactics game is like scenario to scenario to scenario, as opposed to like a through line in the same kind of fashion where you're walking between places. But I don't know about Fallout Tactics since I haven't played it.
I was just reading a little bit about it, and they were saying that it's less open world too. It's a lot more on rails than the
then
first
that
two
would
Fallout games.
make sense. That would be the encounter-based system.
Okay.
Yeah, which is how most tactics games are played. Essentially, like there's a large area that you do your combat in and find the story in between, but you don't walk in between each one, really.
Okay.
I have my limits.
Oh my gosh!
You
You talked about
thought
Casey
you
in
had
chat
limits,
saying
Ray.
what shouldn't be said. Yeah, he's hinting.
Yeah. I mean, this has been interesting, and I love the lore, and I love how, some of the music carries over to the newer games, and the art style, for the Vault Boy stuff carries over and all that. But yeah, it got pretty tedious as we, came to the end of the game.
Yeah. You stopped having fun?
Yeah.
That's too bad. It did. I think it got extremely hard the last two quests, which I think it made.
It's what you expected for the end of a game. I mean, that's
But at the same time, I feel like it was about 10% difficulty the whole game, and then 90% difficulty the last two quests. It was like I felt like there was a huge jump in difficulty, and that just might be the settings I have. Like I'm not playing on the hardest setting by any stretch of the imagination. I never do, but I don't know. I felt it was. It took me, like an hour of gameplay to complete our last quests. Generally, hour or two. It was literally all fucking weekend last weekend, and I just did Mariposa over and over and goddamn over again. It was just 40 times I played that fucking quest.
You had that feeling of accomplishment, though. It was almost a Dark Souls kind of moment, where people talk about going against that final boss, and you posted up the picture of your Vault Dweller walking away and all that. Like, you really felt you earned that victory.
That's a whole fucking curveball. Yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit, but gee, many Christmas, that was a curveball.
Yeah, and the thing that kind of really pushed it for me was just that it became extremely tedious. You can't just do stuff in the game. Things get in, get jammed up, and it was, we'll cover it all when we talk about our quests, but
Yep.
it was more frustration with just the limitations of the mechanics that in the end kind of spoiled it a little bit.
Well, just leave your followers at home, Ray, and they won't block your doors. Just kill them then. Get them out of the way. Hey, Jess, you get a chance to play any video games this week?
Yeah, I played a whole lot of video games. It's still hunkering in and watching TV a bit, but 76, I got the challenges in last weekend. So after the show, went in Saturday, Sunday, and we did a Gato stream. I did my stuff on the scoreboard. Got up to like 83 or 84 now. I'm still not done. I'm not on track to make it by Valentine's Day like I thought I would be because I haven't really focused, but got some 76 in. But beyond that, not only did I do that on my character, but I mentioned I got the PlayStation last week. So it is all set up over the weekend, and on Monday night, I think it was, I came out of the vault over on PlayStation. And there are some real differences. Okay, so PlayStation 5, your controller talks to you. And it sounds weird, but I was in there. Okay, I'm in there. I'm making my character. And of course, I'm recreating my main character because my main Jess character, I wanted to look similar. So, I've done it on PC. I've done it on Xbox. I kind of have it down, but still, I'm a character creator for almost an hour. And like, it's like there's a distant radio. My controller is just going like a distant radio playing. I'm like, what is going on? And this keeps up, but it comes and goes. And it's distracting, but whatever. I'm playing with cheekbones. I'm playing with makeup. So we're good. But it was weirding me out. So finally, after about an hour, I finish up and I'm making my way out of the vault. And I love seeing how things have changed too. We mentioned before, but after Steel Dawn, Steel Rain, or even maybe since then, they keep tweaking the dialogue for the robots. You know what I mean? So they acknowledge how long it's been since the people left. Not just that you overslept or that you're the last one or late, but that it's been months. And there are jokes about it. and it's interesting how it's acknowledged in multiple robots conversations on the way out. But so I get out the vault, and there are, I think there were people waiting for me originally to, give stuff like they do for new characters. So let's see a low level, oh, hey, maybe I'll drop some stuff. But there was no one out there when I first got out there. They popped in later, and I realized that's why I heard talking, because when this person showed up and got the speaker next to their character, it was coming through my controller. So built into the PS5 controller, you can actually there's a microphone built in and a speaker built in for chat. It's the oddest thing. So if you have chat on, you can talk through your controller. It's kind of quiet, like it's not very loud. And I don't know why it's not coming through the speakers. I think there are settings, but I haven't figured them out yet. So anyway, that was fun the first day. So I got to play a noob because my first character over there, so I don't have any things. And I played along with this level 70 who showed up and, followed him around a little bit, let him lead the way while he went through. I just, dropped me some Under Armour and some stim packs and Radaway. Just, not a ton, just nice stuff like people do. And as we got down, we actually, oddly enough, on PlayStation, we had a level like 180 show up and started shooting us. Like we were getting griefed as like at low level. I'm like, oh, this is interesting because that doesn't happen as much. But I think on PlayStation, the person I was with after that, he said, oh, he just wanted to fight. No big deal. I feel like PvP or friendly PvP might be a little more pervasive over there. Might have just been the servers or two I've been on.
Huh.
Yeah, different culture everywhere. I've mentioned how people seem to talk more on PlayStation anyway. And I think part of that is just because of the way it's built into everything.
Because your controllers talk to you, Jess. Jeez.
Yes. Like it's even without headphones plugged in. And as soon as you plug in headphones or microphone, obviously you're there.
That's really weird.
But yeah, it was definitely different. But obviously you can disable chat like normal. So I did basic grinding over there. I played with a couple people for a little bit, nobody I knew. And then I'm going and I'm decided I was going to go up and get as far as Morgantown. I did all the Flatwoods quests. I started the Wayward quest, all that stuff. It had been a while since I'd done it. Last time was Wendy, 2 years ago. So it was good to kind of rediscover that. Got a tent there that has has a couple things in it and a radio. And I said, wow, I'm going to build a camp here. So instead of playing that much more and grinding out, I, at level 5, 6, started building a camp. But it's cozy.
Unbelievable.
was cozy.
I don't believe for a second that Jess got distracted by what building? No.
And I always tell people, like, don't try to build yourself a real camp until you're at least level 10 when you get some plans and get some stuff. But I couldn't resist. I mean, at least I knew what I was getting into, but I made it nice. I spent like an hour on it.
You couldn't build anything that you like, though. It was super frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun, though. I did a very roughing it camp. It's basically kind of like a little fishery at this location. So, I got like my level 1 bed in the tent and my level 1 desk and all that. So
it's just, it must be remarkably different even because you don't even have like any of the Atomic Shop stuff that you purchased the stuff to build. Like you have literally nothing to go with. That's amazing.
Right. There really is nothing. Now it's interesting. I found out starting character over there is some free stuff that you get. So for instance, I have the Mr. Fuzzy backpack. I'm not sure why I have that. I think maybe they're giving it up for free now. I have the Nuka Cherry paint, and I'm not sure why I have that, but I got that. And I'm wondering if maybe some of the stuff that we claimed through like the Amazon Prime challenges or the Twitch challenges, because it's still my same Bethesda account.
Right.
Yeah. Got a few things. So I'm out there. I'm decked out in a leather Nuka Cherry paint and all that. So I did that character, and that was fun.
Sweet.
On Monday, and then when we did our camp showcases on Thursday, I actually streamed from PlayStation. So my second day ever on PlayStation, and I'm doing the stream from it, which was fun. Figure out the controls because the controllers are they're similar, but they're different. The offset sticks, you have to really reach out and stretch your left thumb a lot more than you do on Xbox controller to reach where the stick is.
Yeah.
And as long as I don't look at the buttons on the screen, I'm fine. They're all in the same places. So if I want to do a thing, I just press the button that goes with the thing I want to do. But if I look at it and I see that X, I'm going to press where X should be, which is actually square on the PlayStation controller.
It's square, circle, triangle, and some other shape, and not letters.
Hexagram,
right?
Pentacle. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what's going on there. But so it works as long as I don't pay too much attention. The second my eyes see like the symbols, they suddenly get a little confused.
Yeah.
But did that, had a great camp stream. It was great to see some PlayStation camps in person. And when I did that, of course, I was with my friends Charo and Mush and my team. And so I got a whole bunch of plans from them, and
that's nice.
got my beret, got my dress, the important things.
Right. Of course, you got to have the beret and Jess. The Jess dress.
It's super important. So I'm like rank 7 on PlayStation for score. I think I'm up to like rank 15 or so on PC now, and I'm at like rank 83 or 84 on Xbox.
Woohoo!
So I'll be on Scorecation Xbox soon enough if I actually pay attention, so we can grind a little bit. So there was that. I also, because I'm doing that photo challenge, so I mentioned briefly last week, but for some reason, I wanted to do more photography because I really feel like the last couple of months I'd slowed down on my virtual photography because I've been playing all those indie games and other things, and I'm like, I just want to kick it back up, get into my comfort zone building in photos more again. I mean, it's all comfortable. I love other games, but I just wanted to kind of encourage myself and others, give the community something to do. So yeah, why did I do a month-long photo challenge? Like, why? Every day. Why?
Because it's something
a good idea at the time.
It did. And it was fun doing it up and making my little calendar. And it's been a blessing for sure. I mean, it's been fun. But a lot of times it comes to you quickly what you want to do. Other times not so much. Like there aren't that many eyes in Fallout things. Like I'm doing mostly locations, but it can be kind of any noun or adjective. So things like irradiated. I asked chat on Wednesday actually if they had any suggestions. I got iguana bits, of course. Like duh, that's a perfect one. Interloper. The interloper was an I. Ultimately, the one I chose was Ingram Manor, which is the the big manor there, level 50 up on the hill towards Monongahela. So that was a good one. But the point is, having to do this every day, like with everything else, it's fun, but I'm trying to do mostly new pictures, and I tend to get inspired at the worst times. So, I have an idea of what I might do for something, and then at like 4 a.m, I'm thinking about going to bed, and I'm like, oh, wait, what if I do this? So, if I'm a little tired tonight, which I am, it's because it was around 4:30, and I'm thinking about going to bed. And then I'm like, wait, for J, instead of doing what I was thinking I was going to do, maybe I'll do Jarls, because
Oh,
Jarls in
Lord.
Skyrim starts with a J. So I load up Skyrim of all things, which I haven't been back in, a little while. And I'm going around and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm trying to get all the different Jarls. And on Sienna, my most recent character, hadn't even discovered all the locations yet. So I got playing for like 2-3 hours, taking pics, went to bed around 6:30 in the morning. It was ridiculous. But, that's the thing about the photo challenge. But it's getting me in all the games. So, I've been in 3 some. I've been in 4 a ton. I sorted out some of the mods over there a little bit. Although I'm looking forward to when I do next do a playthrough of 4, whether it's on the next gen or just regular, I am going to do a fresh install, reset some of the mods and stuff like that, because it looks great, but it's always good to start fresh. You know what I mean? To make sure everything is in there in the proper order, nothing's been changed, because as you add and subtract some things change. And even more so on console than on PC, because on PC, you have like Ray does with your, it's not mod, is it Mod Organizer 2 now? No, it's still Vortex.
Yeah, I use Vortex.
And so that kind of adds them in and out as needed. So it doesn't really get messy. But I feel like on Xbox sometimes with the writing and overwriting and then saves, like doing a fresh install once in a while is probably a better idea than not. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, fortunately with Vortex, there's a purge function.
Oh, nice.
So you can go in and just purge all the mods out.
See, that's great that you can do that. That you can add and subtract and purge. Like I like that. And on Xbox, like they add up, and then you add the Creation Club on top, stuff on top too. So but everything looks good. So it's been wonderful getting in there. In order to take pictures, since we don't have photo mode, I'm using the jetpack a lot, playing with depth of field, and it's just gotten me in so many games this week, which
No kidding.
is really fun.
Been all over the place.
Yep. And then, of course, I did play my Fallout 1. Now, obviously, I am not caught up. I am doing better at playing since I did the whole forcing myself to stream it on Wednesdays and play when I can. And funnily enough, I would say, so this last time I streamed it for like 3 hours or so. And I know like previously, this is a harder one for y'all to stream. So on my setup, because of the way I do it with OBS and everything like that, it's not that difficult to stream once I got it running.
Yeah.
But I know like last roundtable or 2, we streamed a bunch of our quests, which was great. So for me, it's just me doing it, and I'm doing it on UWN instead of Skyrimatic podcast channel. So not as many of our friends are popping in, although obviously some do, and I love to see you guys to kind of talk through the roundtable and what we're doing. But this last session, over those 3 hours, I was enjoying myself.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It seemed like you had been kind of, I don't want to say struggling, but not as excited or something, But I'm glad,
as people know from the last 2 last 2 times we've talked about it, I was just getting frustrated, But it's partly the deadline, it's the rushing to try to catch up, and then coming up against things like Ray's talking about now, how he found more frustration, and I feel like that's because he was trying to force himself to finish stuff up, to actually be able to talk about it on the show. And that is, and at this point I knew that wasn't happening. So I finally relaxed a little bit. And I was frustrated in some ways, like the first half of this playthrough. So going back to what I actually did, I got in the water chip, I made it back to the vault and all that. And now I'm going over and finding the Brotherhood. Well, I said, let's clean stuff up, because I never did the whole Skulls Gang thing and picked up Tycho. So I go to Junktown, and I'm trying to make all the things fall in order to be able to take out the Skulls Gang, get Tycho, and get XP and finish up without people being mad at me. Well, I couldn't do it. I tried for about an hour and a half, get in there. And so the first time I went in and talked to them after, I went to the bar and tried to do things in correct order, saw people get hit, saw some people get mad, went down to the crashed house. And as soon as I walked back to go there, Sherry up front started attacking me. And I'm like, what did I do? I didn't know what had happened. And apparently it's because of something that happened in the bar. Like I got in a fight with someone. So anyway, I cleaned out all the skulls, and then I left, and the guards started attacking me. I'm like, okay, I screwed up. What did I do? So I had to go back and restart. So I do it again. And, these are like 20, 30 minutes each time at least. And this time I go over the order of operations, and what do I have to do? Well, it says, okay, so you go to the scum pit, which is the bar. and you see them get in a fight, and Trish gets slapped or whatever, and then someone shoots the guy, and they get mad and leave. I'm like, okay, I made all that happen in the correct order. Talk to the bartender. I think his name is Paul or Leon, maybe? No, Noel. Leon, I guess Noel backwards. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
And you find out about the urn with the ashes, and you talk to them, and you meet Tycho there and get him to come with you. Okay, this is all working out. So I'm going through, and it says, convince Sherry she wants to leave the gang, because Sherry is the one that is kind of not fully with the Skulls gang, and so she counts as a townsperson. So if you fight and kill her, everybody gets mad at you. Okay, it's like, hitting a chicken. You don't want to do that in Zelda. And she basically, if you fight her, even though she comes at you, gets mad at you and attacks you, you can't kill her. So I go through all the challenges and options and try to talk to her about how, maybe what about her future? She should try something else. Well, I guess I just kept failing the speech challenge because no matter what I did, and she said, yeah, something to think about or whatever, I could never, even waiting a day or two, coming back, I could never get her to say I'm going to leave. And then you can take that, go back to Lars and Killian and them and tell them, hey, here's what the Skulls gang is up to, and get them to bust them with you. So I couldn't convince her. So I'm like, well, what if I go in? So I go into the room, and once again, I try to pick a fight with them. But I've already done all the talking with Sherry and out front. So they're all the Skulls gang in back. And they attack me first. And they go red. They're attacking me. Everything's coming in. Sherry, unfortunately, comes running into the room to, help defend them.
Oh, no.
Tycho kills her.
Oh, no.
So I never hit her. Tycho shoots her in the head. Then Tycho starts yelling, don't kill citizens, or you're supposed to protect the people of Junktown. And Tycho starts shooting me for him killing Sherry because she's on Team Junktown and he's on Team Junktown, but he's also on Team Jess. And she was mad at me. He killed her and blames me for it. So it was a whole huge mess. Everybody was shooting everybody. I reloaded again.
How dare you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, next thing you know, he's going to come at me for Ian killing dog meat. Like, I had nothing to do with any of these people. So,
but it's your fault because you're in charge.
Tried a third time. I tried every permutation that was listed about ways you can do it. And aside from going and actually stealing the ashes and doing the bad guy move, I just couldn't make it happen. So I moved on. That was like an hour and a half, but I got Tycho, and I got some stuff done. I had some great encounters out there in the wilderness, a lot of raiders. Oh, one time I was totally murdered by random super mutants.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, I shouldn't say that. Dog meat was killed immediately by random super mutants, so I decided to reload. I actually asked the people watching in chat, and they're like, yeah, no, save dog meat. So
save him.
We did. But the second hour and a half of the game, when I went and I found the Brotherhood, and it was wonderful seeing them with that bunker, and it does look just like the one we got in 76, like everybody said. Really cool. I talked to the Paladin there and Knight Cabot, whatever his name is. And we go through all there. We learned a bit about the Brotherhood. I loved the fact that when you first got to the Brotherhood, they're leaning so hard into the whole medieval knight theme. Like way more than they do in future games. And I mean, you saw this when you get there and you pull up the map and you see the locations you can go into. And at all of these places, when you first arrive at a location, as you know, there is the map and you can pick which area you enter. And this is like all calligraphic. There's like the fancy B for Brotherhood, and it's all like knights. There are cupids holding miniguns and fat men on the sides. Like, it was great. And so it made me think, wow, they're really leaning into the knight and medieval tableau a lot more than they do in future games. But we went through all that. I got told to go to the Glow. They're like, oh, they're never going to make it. But went to the Glow. I got my Radaway and Radex, counters on the way, and left. Oh my goodness. The Glow was far. I didn't realize it's going to be so far from the rest of the locations.
Yeah.
How'd you get your old rope hooked up there, Jess? You have lots of fun with that?
So, I had rope on me because I'm not going to be caught dead in the wasteland without rope after that first vault.
We know better now, yes.
So yeah, once I finally made it there and I get to the big old Sarlacc pit in the ground, walking around, I'm looking at bones, and I'm finding myself taking on all kinds of rads. And I'm like, oh wait, okay, this isn't good. So I take a Radex, but I'm getting really irradiated. And that's when I realized, okay, I got to do better than this. So I had saved a little ways away. So I let it back in. Get there, I take 2 Radex immediately to get my resistance up to like 100%.
Uh-huh.
And then the radiation is coming a lot slower. So I'm clicking everywhere, trying to figure out what to do with my rope. I can't. So I open up a guide, and I'm like, how the hell do I get into the Sarlacc pit? And it turns out there is a beam on the side you can tie your rope to.
There's
well, guess what?
Thin little bar that you can't see at all, but yeah, you need to hook your rope up to that.
I clicked on that bar a bunch of times before, but I never tried doing the, get the rope, use the rope on the bar,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the
so
problem.
frustrating.
Like I'd clicked everywhere, read everything, but once I got in there, it was fun to explore. I figured out where I had to go pretty quickly, got in all the lockers, found more rat-away, dead bodies, all that. I found the Brotherhood holotape, and I didn't go too deep. I only did the first 2 levels. I found the place to turn the power back on for the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
I just did the beginning, and I'm like, I don't want to go any deeper. I'm taking on rads. Let's get back. So I did that, made it back to the Brotherhood after a while. Encounters on the way, a lot of encounters, but it was worth it. And then they let me in. They were surprised I had the tape, like you guys had talked. It was all just like you guys had talked about. I had to give up the tape, so I did. Went in and immediately started talking to some knights, and yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel Bunker is really pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun place to go through.
It's nicer than the vault in some ways, I mean, it's not quite as pristine, but it's got style and people going on there. A number of quests, so I just kind of started getting into that. I haven't actually talked to Maxon in person yet. I know where he is, but I haven't gone all the way down. So that was my Fallout 1 gameplay. But yeah, once I stopped being frustrated and just said, okay, where's it going to take me? Let's just go how far I can. I think I'm like level 9 now. So I can even go back and do 1 or 2 things around the hub that I hadn't done yet too, and maybe get a few more levels. But I know you guys finishing up the game like 13, 14 you had to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was 13.
Yeah, I was 11.
I think that's part of the problem because, we talked about max level, how it caps at like 21, but most people finish around, 17 or 18. And I think probably 11 or 12 might be a little bit low level to try to take it on,
That's an interesting conversation because at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I'm just not high leveled enough. That was my problem in the combat, but I'm already at 200% damage with my main attack, so like I can't do any more damage to them.
Yeah, would it really just be...
It'd just be gaining the HP would be the only... Because each time you level up, you get more hit points. So it would just be my defense would go up, but I'm already doing as much... I'm not going to kill anything any faster than I'm already killing
You
stuff.
could get a couple extra perks, though, too, which, ultimately those might help in some ways.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, you've got all the things. You were at the level you had to be. I think Ray might have been a little bit underleveled, but I don't know. I'm not there yet.
I think they're expecting more exploration, too. I was just kind of hitting the main cities, following the storyline, getting done. I think they're expecting more running around, more random encounters, more XP that way, too. You know what I mean? I don't think I did enough random exploring. I did start doing that about halfway through my gameplay, but I was hesitant to do that. Well, the game kind of makes it so you're hesitant to do that because they put that 165-day limit on your water chip bullshit. So the first half of the game makes you not want to run around, Like they make you want to be efficient with your time.
Right, because you have no concept. The first time you go through, you have no concept of how long is it going to take you to, get the water chip.
Yeah.
And get it back to the vault. So, yeah, to play it again, you'd spend a lot more time walking around, talking to people, doing stuff. You would just not waste a lot of time sleeping.
Right.
Or, doing caravan quests.
Yeah. And that's basically what I did for the XP when I started going out after I'd done the water chip and I was like, oh, now I need to start leveling up. That's all I did. I just did caravan quests over and over and over again for 2 weeks in a row. That's pretty much my gameplay was just going out and running those quests back and forth. And that's when I said, oh, Ray, no, it's only been a couple of months. It was a year and a couple of months.
Yeah, you completely rolled the clock.
I rolled a fucking calendar year around on that son of a bit. Yeah. All right, what else are you getting into?
That's pretty much all my gameplay, at least all the Fallout-based stuff and a little bit of Skyrim in there. I played some Bastion and a fun kind of pick your path adventure game, but that was just to get a couple easy achievements to get my Microsoft rewards.
That's awesome. You do that.
I'm catching up on chat a little bit. While we were talking, they were talking a bit about tactics, like if we went that direction, and the fact it was set in Chicago, which is kind of neat. And then joking about BOS, which is the only one really shunned, says Sullivan. I totally agree with that. Casey's been working on getting the Hills Are Alive emote over on PS now that he finished the the Xbox scorecation. We shouted out his scorecation last week on Xbox, I believe it was. But yeah, PlayStation, the Hills Are Alive emote is just the coolest darn emote, isn't it?
Is that the...
That's the arms out shooting, spinning in a circle.
Spinning in a circle that they had in the 76 preview?
Yeah, exactly, like in the ad. So that one's really fun. Lee mentioned Twitch rewards that he keeps trying to do them on 76. So the neat thing about the Twitch drop, so these ones aren't as exciting as some of the past ones, but you can get it whether you're Game Pass or Twitch too. So yes, if you hook your Amazon account and your Bethesda account like before, it's easier now. You just go to Twitch and you get the drops, your Prime loot, they call it. But if you have Game Pass, you can also just get it from the Xbox dashboard. So that's pretty darn easy. Sullivan is having trouble playing Fallout 4 because he wants to use a controller and doesn't like working with a PlayStation controller. And oh yeah, hey, listeners, if you want to add me on PlayStation, I'm not going to be there much, but it's Jessica Star 77. Boom. So feel free and give me an ad. They were guessing what my gamer tag was, and we got Pugs for Life. That should have been Pugs for Life.
Well, now she's got to set up a new account. Holy cow.
Uh-huh. So how about you, Andrew?
I had zero gameplay other than our final quest. So why don't we go ahead and roll into our final quest for the week. But first, I just want to take a quick detour and run you guys through a little bit of a game.
What time is it? Game time! Boom!
All right, this week I brought a Scream at Your Phone list, you guys. And since it's Super Bowl week, we're playing Fallout 76 Soups. I've removed all the purees, all the stews, all the slurries, all that crap. These are just the soups, only soups in Fallout 76. I'd like you to go first. Ray, tell me a soup from Fallout 76.
Corn soup.
Corn is on the list. Jess.
Anything soup-like?
Soup. Any soup.
Brain fungus soup.
Brain fungus is on the list. Ray, back to you.
Hmm.
And he's already out of the ideas, folks.
Yeah, well.
He's like people soup.
Well, and it's been a long time since I played 76, and I do vegetable soup in Skyrim all the time. So I'm going to go with vegetable soup.
I'll give it to you. Vegetable medley soup in Fallout 76. Good job, Ray. Jess, back to you.
Carrot soup.
Carrot is on the list. Ray, back to you.
Mm.
See, that's the thing. It comes back to you every time, Ray.
I know, right?
Any more guesses?
Just for the record, cereal is not soup, so you can't say sugar bombs.
No sugar bombs. Damn Alton Brown and his stupid soup cereal.
I'm out of soup.
All out of soup. Jess, do you have a soup for the win?
Sure, blight soup.
Blight, number one on the list. Other soups. Jess, would you like to clear any others off before I tell you?
I mean, does apple chili count as a soup?
That is a chili, not a soup. I removed all slurries and stews and variants of soup. I just went for the Super Bowl. I just wanted all the soups.
Yeah, I mean, most of the veggies have a soup. So you got razor grain soup.
Yep, there's razor grain.
Trying to think if there's anything with mint fruit. Oh, there is that one fancy stew. But I already won. I don't need to rack my brain. I'm tired.
We also have chicken noodle. We got a fire cap, a glowing fungus,
Yum.
a gourd soup, iguana soup, mega sloth iguana soup. That's got to be your people soup, right?
I didn't know there was iguana soup. Oh my goodness.
Mega sloth mushroom, pumpkin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Razor grain. You said razor grain. Silt bean, swamp
Yes.
tofu, and tato soup. Those are our only soups. Again, I removed all the puree, slurries,
Some
all that stuff.
good ones in there. I usually use corn soup because I love the AP refresh and it's quick and easy.
Good
And
stuff.
blight soup because the damage bonus and stuff. Blight soup is great for a boss.
Absolutely. All right, good job, you guys, on the Super Bowl soups. Let's go ahead and roll into our quests. We're going into Mariposa and also Cathedral. It turns out you can do these in any order you wish. Ray, which order did you do these in?
Well, so for starters, I have an issue with calling this the Mariposa military base.
Okay, it's actually just called the military base, and the
well, no, they refer to it as Mariposa in a lot of different places.
Do they? Okay.
But
on the map, on the fast travel map, it
it's
just says military base, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so Mariposa is a town in the foothills below Yosemite, which is on the other side of the valley from where the military base is.
Okay.
In Fallout 1. So it really should be called Los Banos.
All right. Are we just splitting hairs here, Ray? For someone who has no idea, someone who's
it's
not from the area,
all the way across the Central Valley.
If we didn't grow up in California, we wouldn't know the goddamn difference. You just happen to grow up not far from the area, so you know it. Oh, gee whiz. All right. So, what'd you say it should be called? What?
Los Banos.
Los
not
Banos.
Los Banos.
Los Banos. There's no Enye on there.
Yeah, no, yeah, on that. Just
So
Los Banos.
Los Banos means the baths, right? Like Banos would be like hot springs or baths. Oh, the bathrooms?
Yeah.
the toilets.
So anyway, yeah. So I went to the military base first. So I went up there, saw the super mutants milling around outside, went back to the Brotherhood of Steel, told Maxon about it.
Did you know to do that by just instinct or something you read, or why did you go back to the Brotherhood? Did they tell you, if you find something, please come back and let us know what you find?
Let us know. Yeah. All so right. both Maxon and the elders tell you to go up north, see what's going on, and come back and report in.
That's what they were talking about. When they told me to go north, I went on a literal straight line north, and I'm like, I didn't find shit. They were trying to get me to go northwest. They should have said fucking northwest, god damn it, because I went straight fucking north. I'm like, I have no idea what these guys are having me search for. They were having me search for the military base. That they should have said, oh, there's a military base out there. You should go look for that. Not just, oh, go north, young man.
Yeah. So that's what they were looking for. So I went back and told them, and then convinced them. Little did I know that it was going to be a problem, but I convinced them.
You wish you hadn't done this.
To attack first. So they send a group of paladins to meet you up there and storm the facility. And so, there's a few of them outside. You can pop open the radio, and the radio crackles and says, then you get, somebody wanting the checkpoint to, check in, and you tell them that, you're under attack, need help right away. And then 3 of the 4 super mutants leave the front of the base and wander off.
And again, did you know to do this based on something you read, or the paladin said, hey, there's a radio trick I want to show you, or what brought that on?
Yeah, so I knew that the radios played a function in this. I wasn't sure what at first. I just knew that I needed to try the radio. And so that's what came up, and so that's what I did.
Nice.
The first time I did it, I couldn't really tell what was going on because I had killed them all and then used the radio and nothing happened.
Well, it's hard to send them away when they're dead, Ray.
Yeah. So one of the keys is that you need to kill all of the super mutants standing in your way in the front. Either get rid of them and only attack the one guy, or whatever, but you have to get rid of them all in one round of combat.
or they call reinforcements, or what?
Yeah. Otherwise, when you go into the facility, there's a group of super mutants standing right where you spawn in and start attacking you immediately. So with the paladin's help and getting rid of 3 of the 4, it was really easy. They one paladin shot him with a Gatling laser, and the other one shot him with the missile launcher.
Oh shit!
And
you guys are packing heat.
Yeah, it it blew him to smithereens. And when you blow somebody up, they don't have an inventory anymore.
Yeah.
And this super mutant has a holotape on it with the code to get in.
To get in the door. Oh no.
Now, fortunately, the game, took into account that you might blow the guy to smithereens.
Good.
And so Katja can break the lock for you to get you in the building.
Is that a simple command in their?
Yeah, it's the first thing that pops up in her conversation menu.
Can you pick this lock for me or something?
Yeah.
Nice. I don't think I ever looked into her conversation tree, I guess. Huh. I definitely did the whole like stay far away or come near, like that. I don't think I ever noticed that she's a lockpick master. That's cool.
If you get so if you get the holotape, then you can just go in. And then once you're inside, so there's super mutants all around, but there's also some open doorways and some doorways with force fields.
Yeah.
And those doors with the force fields will prove to be the most vicious follower killers in the game.
Zap.
Because they can't help but walk back and forth, because they're always moving around.
Yeah.
Whenever you're, doing something, they're moving around all the time.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't think Katja made it to level 2.
Oh no.
Before she zapped herself. She was completely away from what was going on at the time.
Yeah.
But just because she's running back and forth through these force fields, she ends up dying. So I tried reloading a couple of times, finally just said, you know what? You did it yourself. It wasn't me.
You got me in. That's enough.
So there's a computer that you can go to that evidently, if you use a radio, you can turn the force fields on and off.
Yes.
I never could figure out how to get that to work. I just didn't do it.
I watched videos, Ray, on how to get that to work, and I still couldn't figure out how to get that goddamn thing to work. But yeah, there's a way using I think it's 2 radios you have to have for some reason. Is it 2? I don't remember. I remembered reading something where you have to have 2 radios. Anyway, with this one, no. There's a terminal you take it to, you set you activate the radio, you activate the terminal, and you can get the 2 to communicate together, but then when you walk away from the terminal, you can activate the radio, and that'll turn the yellow, not the reds, but the yellow ones on and off, right?
Yeah.
So you can walk through the yellow doors, which ended up, they're the less dangerous ones, but they ended up being more of a problem for me than the red ones in the long run. The red ones do more damage when you cross them, but the yellow ones...
The yellow ones will stop you.
You can't walk through them, so you have to use repair? I don't remember. I
used repair to get through them.
And the repair has to be relatively high at a repair of 60, and that wasn't hacking it. Bumped it up to 70. That still wasn't hacking it. I eventually bumped it up to like 80 or 90, I think, in order to be able to get through those things effectively. But the yellow doors were horrible.
80. Yeah. So you're going through this base. You finally get to the level that has the lieutenant. So he's the one that when we were back in Necropolis, if you failed the speech check with the super mutant there, he threatened to take you to Lou.
Oh, this is excellent. You know, I actually doubted my officers when they said they'd captured a prime normal. It is so nice to see you.
That guy.
Yeah.
Love that voice. Really good voice.
Yeah. So the first time he and his two bodyguards completely wiped out the entire group, including myself.
They're pretty beefy, man.
Yeah. So the next time I decided to not go see him.
Uh-huh. How'd that
because
work?
It worked out really good.
Yeah.
So I just zipped over to to the room with the guys in the purple robes. And they were really squishy.
Oh my God, aren't they?
And so I killed all them. And one of them had a key card for the computer. So I was able to set the self-destruct code.
Yay!
And then we boogied out of the room. And so at this point, Katja had died from the barriers.
Right.
I don't know what ever happened to Dogmeat. I don't remember when the last time I saw him.
Yeah, he died long ago, I guarantee.
And so it was Ian, Tycho, two paladins, and myself. And so, we charge off, and I use my repair skill to break through the yellow barriers. We get to the elevators and get down to the first floor. And in the first floor elevator, the paladin stands in the middle of the doorway to exit that elevator space.
We need that push follower command.
Yeah. Because you can get Ian and Tycho to move. You just tell them to stand aside, oops, sorry, and get out of the way. But the paladin, there's no conversation with him. And so no matter what I did, I could never get out of the first floor elevator to leave the building.
Did you try killing him? Could you fight him? Could you engage?
Well, I could, but you've got a Gatling laser and a missile launcher.
They're coming right at you.
In close one range. Square apart.
You're inside an elevator with a rocket launcher. Good luck.
So that didn't work out. So okay, well, I guess we'll go talk to Lou.
Who's Lou?
The lieutenant, the guy with.
Oh, so you went back and talked to him again?
Well, I had a save.
You reloaded
before I set the launch codes, and so
that's smart.
Instead of setting the timer, I just took everybody over, and we went and dealt with the lieutenant.
As in you killed him?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it took a couple of tries, but myself, Tycho, we were both in power armor. The two paladins were in power armor. And the lieutenant and his two guys managed to kill both of the paladins, but Tycho and I made it out.
Nice.
somewhere in another part of of that floor, Tycho killed himself by going back and forth. Not Tycho, Ian
through a goddamn
killed himself
door
by going back and forth in through the barriers.
Oh, come on, Ian.
That kind of makes sense, though. His destructive impulses, eventually they were going to turn inward.
So I'm like, okay, forget it. It's just Tycho and I. We're going to go. And so I did have to remember to pick up a set of purple robes. So I picked up a set of robes and set the self-destruct. So the first time I set it for 3 minutes, but we couldn't make it out in time because there's a little fight that you run into right at the exit. And so then I set it for 5 minutes. And even that took us a couple of tries because it depends on how many times it takes to, get the barriers to open, because they don't always open on the first repair job.
Yeah, it takes a few times.
And then also, I would run through. I would get it to open. I would run through, and Tycho wouldn't follow me in time before it closed again. So I'd have to go back, re-repair it, get him out.
Oh God.
So
Now,
finally, with the
man.
5-minute timer, we made it out.
Keep up.
And so there's a big fight and you get a lot of XP. Does it matter which order you do this in? Because I know we have both the military base here that you're talking about and the cathedral. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Lou is the boss in the military base, right?
Yeah.
The one leading those mutants. Now, you did this first. Both of you did the military base first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you don't have to, but it just makes the most sense.
Yeah, because I remember reading that there was different dialogue, like if you'd already killed the master and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's neat that you can actually do this in various orders.
Yeah. But so you pick up some key lore pieces. So in the computer that you do the self-destruct, you can pick up a log file on the guy that was with Harold. What was his name? Robert Gray?
I was thinking of the guy wandering out front.
So the guy that was at the base with Harold, there's a dossier on him.
Richard Gray.
Richard Gray. That's one. And then there's also one on Maxon.
Whoa. What dirt they got on Maxon?
So the one on Maxon, it turns out that he and his soldiers defected from the U.S. Army because they found that they were doing FEV experiments. Oh. And so the day before the bombs dropped, Maxon and his team basically quit the army.
Wow.
Out of protest for the FEV experiments.
Yeah.
Because they were at the base, they discovered what the scientists were doing. They confronted the scientists, and the scientists were unapologetic. Maxon ended up killing one of the guys and one of the scientists, and that was the beginning of the Brotherhood of Steel.
Wow, that's fun.
And so they after the bombs fell, they moved to the Lost Hill bunker and set up there.
What's the name of their bunker in New Vegas?
Oh, the Hidden Bunker. They just call it Hidden Valley Bunker.
Hidden, yeah.
So not Lost Valley, Hidden Valley. So get some ranch.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Richard Gray, turns out he was exposed to FEV, and survived, and realized that he was gaining powers. So he continued to inject himself with FEV, and became, more and more powerful, smarter and smarter. Ended up developing psychic psychic powers. And then he started experimenting with putting creatures together, and so that was the what created the what do they call those
centaurs?
Centaurs, the jiggly guys.
Yeah, centaurs.
Ew. Yes.
Yeah. And the original flatworms that they experimented on became the floaters.
So I haven't met any floaters yet. At what area did you find them? Were they just around the cathedral, or did you find them elsewhere too?
I found them initially in random encounters.
Yeah, with super mutants. For me, they were always with bands of super mutants. There was like 2 mutants and a floater usually together.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever, really quick digression, in 76 encountered super mutants with floaters as pets? Because you don't see that often. You get the floaters popping out and they attack you, and you got the fire and the ice and all that.
Yeah.
But if you are sneaking around and you're sneaking 76 and you come across a group of super mutants with floaters, they will treat it like a pet and they'll hang out and they don't fight each other. And it, harkening back to the original game, which I didn't realize for a long time, but I think I first saw it probably last fall, and it's really neat.
Yeah. By the Ranger Tower, just outside of what is it, the Kanawha?
Yeah, the East Kanawha Lookout.
Yeah, there's the super mutants have always been there, but when floaters came in the game, they put them in there, and so they're hanging out with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if I think I know the name recognition, of course, but the actual bad guy looks so much different in Fallout 1.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they're
like a
connected.
worm.
Yeah, it's a flatworm that rests on the ground. Why is it even called a floater? It's not floating or flying or anything. Like, that's just... Anyway, it just looks like a coiled like flatworm, but up on its haunches, up on its hind legs with its head.
I wonder if they were supposed
to
be partially floating in Fallout 1, and it's just the graphics. Like the majority of the body is floating and the tail's dragging on the ground.
We just can't tell because we can't see anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So once I set the self-destruct and managed to get out of the building, so note, it's not good enough to just be outside the building.
No.
You have to make it all the way to the exit grid.
You got to get to that red dirt out past the edge of town, right?
Did you guys learn this the hard way?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, I'm outside. I should be fine. Nope.
Did you play around with the endings there at all, Ray?
No.
Do you let yourself get caught or anything?
No. At that point, I was procrastination got the best of me. I waited until late this week to start, and then had something come up that ended up taking up a bunch of time.
I think that was the paladin standing in your way, maybe.
Well, and then so I was up against the clock on it, and when that thing happened, it was just driving me absolutely bonkers.
I'm sure.
I was so pissed off. I just could not for anything to get anything to change. He's always there, right in the middle of the doorway. So after I got done there, I had seen something where if you're going to talk to the master, it's good to have the holotape
From Vree?
from Vree, the autopsy tape.
Super Mutant Autopsy Tape from Vree. I read about this thing a few times, and I should have gone back. I never went back and got it. What's it provide for you there?
So it helps you convince the master that his experiments are failed because they can't reproduce, and so his master plan is defunct.
Well, they don't need to reproduce as long as he's got those vats, but you've just destroyed his vats.
But his plan was to sterilize all the people so that they couldn't reproduce, so that only super mutants could reproduce.
But they can't.
And so...
they are sterile. Yeah. So do they ever lampshade the fact that it's a master plan, that he's doing the Unity and it's his master plan? Or do they not highlight that? Okay, good.
No. Yeah, they do. So I went into the bunker to go to the locker and pick up the tape that I had gotten earlier and then stored in the locker because I didn't want to carry that shit around with me anymore.
Yeah.
They were hostile.
Who was the BOS?
Yeah.
Why?
Evidently because some paladins had died.
You shot that paladin and they were like, hey. No, because you were at the battle, they came to help, a couple of them died, they blame you.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
wow.
So I had to skip that. Okay, well, I'm not going to have that. So then I figured, okay, well, I'm just not going to go see the master at all.
Okay, there's a plan. How do you finish the game then without confronting the master?
So I got to the cathedral and I had dismissed Tycho. Unfortunately, I had enlisted help from so it's kind of a two-edged sword. So you need to get help from the followers of the apocalypse because their inside person helps get you to the room that you need to go to progress through. But they also send a bunch of followers to aid you. But if you have any followers with you at all and you're trying to use the robe disguise, it doesn't work.
That sucks.
So I was going upstairs to talk to the head of the church, who's
Morpheus.
Yep. And so all of these followers start coming along with me, and the Nightkin on the first floor go nuts.
Yeah, they don't like that.
So I ran off and hid in a corner.
Uh-oh.
While the followers of the apocalypse fought the Nightkin.
Hey, that's a way to do it.
And when the last Nightkin killed the last follower, I killed the last Nightkin.
Well, there you go. Problem solved.
So, disguise intact, I went up to Morpheus. And, he's like, what are you doing in my room? And so I said, oh, I'm lost. And I was just looking for the bathroom, and one of the other elders told me to come up here. And so then he chuckles and says, "Oh, that Lasher."
Oh, Lasher.
And he says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna give you a break, and you can go." And I said, "Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I'm going to pickpocket you and
get the black
take your
tape.
black key."
Yeah.
And so after I got that off of him, I ran downstairs and I thought that there would be an actual physical key on him, but there was not. So after about 15 lockpicking attempts, I finally got through the door. And went down into the basement area, and there's a secret door at the very end of the basement. If you happen to have Katja with you, she'll notice it and will open it for you.
Oh, nice.
If you don't have Katja, if she's lying in a puddle of ooze, inside the military base,
back in Mariposa, right?
Then you can just stand there for a few minutes, and another of the
Purple
children
robe guys
comes out.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's like brother.
Hey, brother.
And you go on in. So now there's this cave with centaurs and floaters, but because I'm in my purple robes with my black patch,
they don't.
I just walk right on by them. And
brother.
I get to the vault door, and there's 2 super mutants standing guard.
Brother.
And
I take it they all say that then they recognize you as a brother Nightkin or something because of your outfit, or?
Yeah.
They leave you alone. They think you're programming computers for them or something, yeah. You're the IT guy.
So the super mutants stop you. Hey, you're not supposed to be down here. And I responded with, you don't tell me what to do.
Ruh-roh. They probably don't like that very much, do they?
No, they let me through.
What? Are you kidding me?
Nope.
As long as you're wearing the robes, you're okay, right?
No, because the first time I answered something else, I don't remember what, but it was, a much more passive response, and they opened fire.
Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Yeah.
But when I told them off, they let me through.
That's so funny.
And so I go back and go through, go down in the elevator. And then there's a room with a bunch of super mutants in it. So if you go one way, you can go down to where the door to the master is. But the other direction, there's a room full of super mutants and another elevator. Now, if you're going to go see the master, you need to stop on the second floor, go talk to the crazy people, and get the crown that protects you from the psychic energy. And you realize that that's a problem if you go free another group of hostages, people that are headed to the vats. And, yay, we're free. You let us out because, you lockpick their door. They go running out and they all explode.
Oh.
Because the master uses his psychic power to kill them.
Wow.
So you go to the other group and, they tell you about the crown and how it protects them. And you're supposed to be able to talk your way through. Now, I think some of the problems that I've had with this character is that I never did anything with speech. So I've got really low speech. So I don't get a lot of dialogue options, and I don't pass speech checks.
And you fail a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. But fortunately I couldn't get the protection. But my plan was not to go see the master anyway. Because that seemed really tedious and, fraught with danger.
Yeah.
And so I used my incredibly high sneak and snuck past all the super mutants in this room, went to the elevator and went down to the 4th floor.
What'd you find down there, Ray?
Down there, I found 2 super mutants.
What were they
which
protecting?
are openly hostile. And so I quickly threw on my power armor, since my robes weren't going to fool them, and laid waste to them. And because I've got, I think my science skill was like 91 or something like that, I was able to hack the computer that was connected to the giant nuclear bomb.
Oh my God, there's a huge A-bomb down there.
So, why there's a giant A-bomb connected to a computer in the bottom of a
Cathedral
demo vault. So this vault was the one that they built in the Vault Tech built in Los Angeles to show people what vaults were.
Yeah, display vault. Right.
Yeah.
Showroom.
But anyway, so there's this bomb down there. So I set it off, and now I've only got a couple of minutes to get the hell out.
You got 3 fucking minutes. You got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
4 floors. Hopefully you can leave more easily this time, right? You don't have to fight your way out.
Fortunately, there weren't any barriers.
Now, did the robots and the mutants and the characters in here, did they know it was going to explode, or did you just run past them and they all died in the explosion?
So I threw on my robes and had on my black patch and used my sneak, and I went back through the room, didn't have any problems. Got back out to the front door where the 2 guys were standing. They go, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here." And I used the same speech check with them and passed. So they let me out.
Sweet.
I boogied out through the centaurs and the floaters, back up to the church, out the front door, and left the cell.
Yeah, you got to leave that cell. It's important.
All the way out.
And then it goes to the cutscene of the cathedral blowing up.
Kablooey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And is this where it ends, and then you go back to Vault 13 after this?
Well, this is So this is where it ends, and it goes through a little bit of. Well, no, it goes through your whole recap.
Okay, so this is the recap. These aren't the end slides. It's like a recap of what you've done, or these are the end slides of what happened already, or are you talking to the overseer now? No. What happens first?
So first you go through the end, where you go, it talks about you blowing up the military base. And then it recaps what you did, in the various parts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shady Sands, Junktown, all that stuff. And then it says, but what happened to you? And then you find yourself standing out in front of Vault 13, and the overseer comes out and says, "Oh, you are such a hero. You're so awesome. You saved our lives. Oh yeah, you can't come back in.
Yeah.
You need to get lost because you are a huge threat, because people are going to want to leave the vault because of what you've done.
Because you went out there, you survived, you've done things to help, and they're going to want to think they can also be a hero. Yeah, they want to be like you.
He said
to be fair,
he said he didn't want to lose the best of his generation of the youngsters in the vault because they take inspiration from your adventures. And you are now a threat, and you are not allowed to return.
To be fair, when I was in the vault before, it's interesting. If you're out and you talk to people, there are people saying you're brave, and there are people saying this and that, and oh my goodness, that would be difficult. But occasionally you see an upset Vault 13 dweller, and they say things like, I'm not very happy. My child thinks you're the greatest, but I'm not sure how I feel about that, because they're talking about wanting to leave the vault. So they already foreshadow it, even before this point.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice any of that.
Yeah. And one of the things that you can do when you go back to the vault the first time after going to Vault 15 is talk to the, one of the leaders of the rebellion.
Hmm.
And tell them that, they just need to stay put in the vault. The overseer, knows what he's doing, and you talk him off the ledge.
Does the rebellion still exist after you bring back the water chip, or do they kind of disperse at that point?
Yeah, I think, well, if you've done the conversation, then they're kind of done.
Mhm.
So, yep. And so then it shows you walking off through the desert.
All alone, hanging your head in shame. I was curious about this. How all the other Fallout game ends. Do we ever go back to the vault to? Is this the only time we are cast out? Like, never welcome to return, right? That doesn't happen
101.
anymore.
101, I mean, spoilers, but that completely happens. Remember
3?
how there's...
No,
yeah,
I
Fallout
don't remember
3.
anything. Fallout 1's better than Fallout 3, you guys. I enjoyed it much, much more.
Oh, my goodness. So there's a quest called Trouble on the Home Front, as you guys might remember, that can pop up, towards the end. So after you've done, Tranquility Lane and got your dad back, but before you go to Little Lamplight and find things, if I remember correctly, I'd have to look at the exact order. And Trouble on the Home Front is where stuff's going wrong. You have to go back and help Amada and some people there. But after that, you're also, Amada, if she becomes overseer, etc., also asks you to leave. And you can't stay in the vault either.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering about that.
Yeah, but I think those are the only instances. I mean, I guess technically Vault 76 kicks you out, doesn't let you back in either.
Yeah, that's true. They don't.
That's right from the beginning, though.
I did have a couple of variations on my playthrough here compared to yours, Ray. I decided to play around a little bit when I was in Mariposa, so I did the whole thing where I just said, "Oh, hey, Lieutenant, what's going on?" "Oh, yeah, sure, I'd like to be, super smart and super big." And so I just decided to let myself get dipped just to see what that and it's a really cool cutscene of you like being wrapped like a mummy and then on chains above the vats and getting dipped into the vats, and then there's a cutscene of the super mutants attacking Vault 13 and just like them slaughtering everyone in the thing, and then like it's just credits done over. It's like, whoa, that was intense.
And your arm coming out of
it's literally it's the fucking Joker hand from Batman 89 coming up out of the vat with like white hand and green fingernail. It's almost exactly the same shot. It's really kind of eerie. But yeah, that was really fun. I ran that. Let's see what else variation was on your way in to the military base. Did you find a computer before you went too far down? You like turned off pest control, turned off the alarms, turned off the robots, turned off there were 4 options. You can turn off pest control, turn off robots, turn off force field, but force fields wasn't one of them. But there were these different things you could turn on and off, and I found that helpful because the robots wouldn't attack then. They actually ran when they saw me walking towards them. The robots went the opposite direction, so I never had to fight any of the robots or anything. They weren't a big deal.
Yeah, well, and I never set off the alarms. So the robots always stayed in their little...
Oh, they were in their little incubators?
Chambers, yeah.
Nice. Let's see, what else did I do differently? At the Cathedral, finding where the master is was impossible for me. I was like, there's a panel on the wall, and the panel looks like the panel next to it, but this panel just happens to be a door. And if you scroll your mouse all over the map or whatever, usually you would see a hallway beyond the door if there's something there, but you don't see anything back beyond this door until you activate the door, then the hallway appears. So it took me forever to find out where the master actually, because I actually wanted to see. I also found out that you don't actually have to do the master at all. You can just go down to the bomb like that. The first time I went down there, I went and set off the bomb and got out of there. No problem whatsoever. Everything blew up, and it was awesome to see the huge like cathedral explosion scene. That was really neat. But then I decided, I want to, actually see this master person, see what this is like. And it just took me forever to find it because I couldn't find the fucking door. And then you realize, there's a door. Oh, there's a hallway. There's like a hidden hallway back there. And I don't know. I probably missed some hint or some clue that, this is the door. This is where it is. But like, I'm sure they tipped me off somewhere, and I just missed the tip. But it took me a long time. And going down that hallway, you're right, Ray. There's some weird psychic powers. It starts like telling you weird messages in your Pip-Boy readout as you're walking down this hallway. And then you find the master. He's like in one of those.
He's in an overseer tray.
He's in the overseer chair. That huge, weird overseer desk that we have in this one. That's like a half a story tall. But the master is.
But he's all around it because he's mutated so much, right?
He's integrated technology and biomaterials into one. So he's sort of like a technological, like weird being that's.
Well, he's been experimenting on himself before the others for a long time. So, supposedly, like, he's got, like, tendrils, like, octopus, like, arms that kind of reaching through parts of the vault, right?
Right. He's connected not only through the bio stuff, but also through the technical networking of the terminals in the building. Like, he is the technology. He is the network. He is this weird biotechnical thing.
Did you get the robes, or did you have to use the psychic nullifying crown thing, too?
I didn't. I never released anyone from prison. I never heard word one about this damn crown. I just took the psychological damage on the way down the hallway, and I actually did kill the master. Eventually, he's got like 2,500 million XP. He is fucking loaded to bear, and
he's Earl.
All of my followers were dead by this point. And it's like everyone had died, and it was just me. And I had like 38 stim packs, and I walked out of there with 2.
This is amazing. So you treated this like some kind of suicide mission almost. Like it was a last gasp to save the wasteland, stop the mutant army. You lost everybody and everything on the way.
But this was only after I had blown it up with the bomb and everyone safely made it out, my whole party. I reloaded and was like, no, I actually want to fight and see this master person. So I reloaded and went back in, and everyone died because it's just a brutal battle down in there. And the final battle down the hallway.
There's super mutants that come back down the hallway too.
Yeah, the super mutants were following me down the hallway. He's got fucking machine guns on his overseer's chair and everything. Oh, one other thing I did, Ray, after all of this, the overseer in Vault 13, when he told me to leave, I attacked him and he fucking slaughtered me immediately. He melts through worse than the master does.
Yeah. Well, that's because they can't have you going back in the vault ever.
They can't have that at all. So, gosh, I'm trying to think of anything else I did differently, but I think that kind of wraps up my gameplay.
The crazy thing about the master is that, so because he is the integration of, all the people that he's killed, when he talks to you.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like in 3 or 4 different voices at a time.
There's a metal voice, like a robot voice. There's a high pitched, like shrieking voice. There's this lower voice. Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 different voices they mix in together, and it's really kind of like a schizophrenic, weird. Like, yeah, it's a trip, man. It's very cool.
Quick note, while we were doing that, I want to hear about the endings you guys got and some of your thoughts on them if you want to talk about that. But I was looking up Amada's dialogue files while we were talking, and she actually literally does quote the first overseer. So if she's in charge as overseer, it's because you either killed the previous overseer in Vault 101 and Fallout 3, or you got them to step down peacefully. And she literally has the line, "I'm sorry, you're a hero and you have to leave." She absolutely says that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I like how they tied that in. It makes sense, especially of all the following Fallout games. And Fallout 3 really had a lot of ties to the original. Even though New Vegas had more character ties and theme ties, like they made sure to hit those beats on Fallout 3 for sure. So endings. Anything special to you guys, like in your ending slide that you thought was interesting?
I was just really surprised about the curveball. Like, no, you can't come back in. We're done. Go away. And then the sort of iconic Fallout image of the vault dweller walking out into the wasteland. Like I'm usually used to that as sort of like here we are. Here's the wasteland. You're opening a door and bam, there you are. And the previews for the game is someone in a vault suit walking away. But usually that is in the context of I am now leaving the vault and there's plenty of adventure in front of me. Not, I have saved the world, but I'm still getting my ass kicked out of my own home because I saved the world. So it's like, to me, it was flipped on its head.
I can see that. The adventure is ahead, but the game is behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I posted the picture, and Jerry was like, I haven't seen this before, but I know the context, and like I get the feeling of what this represents. And I'm like, I don't. It's exactly opposite of what I would. If I saw this image, I'd be like, oh, this is the beginning of Fallout 1 when you leave the vault and you're going to. But if you look at the image, their head is hanging low. They're not like positive shoulders up. Let's go out for an adventure. There's like, oh, what do I do now? Like their shoulders are slumped. The head is hanging down, and they're walking slowly away from the vault. Like it's a moment of defeat, not triumph. You know.
Did either of you shoot the overseer after he kicked you out?
Yeah, he slaughtered me once.
How about you, Ray?
That didn't bother.
No, I wouldn't think you would. Like, I mean, I don't like his point. Also, there was a comment from Casey in chat that in some ways it feels more like he doesn't want you to take his job as overseer. He knows if you come in, you're going to kind of take over the vault because you're far more experienced than he at this point.
Well, that makes sense. I didn't even think of that. What about losing his job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to the hub.
Going to the hub.
I mean, those caravans are going to guard themselves.
Yeah.
There's caps to be made.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing now.
I love that. And I love that you're out in the wasteland because when we get to Fallout 2, you know, you're going to be dealing with one of your descendants out there. And that's part of the whole excitement. You know that, right, Andrew? That the player character for Fallout 2 is your grandchild, if I remember correctly?
I don't know. I haven't played Fallout 2 yet.
I played even less Fallout 2 than I did Fallout 1.
I guess one more thing I want to mention for the wrap up, and I'm still playing some next week. You know, maybe I'll finish the game, but I'll at least get closer to the end before we totally wrap. And I have to finish. So even if I drag my heels, I have to finish. But my friend over at Nukipedia mentioned that next week they're actually going to be doing kind of deep dives on the Cathedral, doing some revisions on the Cathedral section. So on the Twitter, they'll probably be dropping some Cathedral information and like fun tidbits and stuff like that. So if you are following Nukipedia or whatever, they're working on that section right now as we speak.
Wow. Good deal.
Yeah. Talk about timing.
Very fun. All right.
Yeah. It was definitely fun. There's certainly some gameplay mechanic issues that I ran into. I was kicking myself because I had so much frustration with the elevator issue. When I got to the Cathedral and knew I needed to go up the stairs, I kept trying to walk up the stairs and it wouldn't let me walk up. And I'm like, why in the world can't I walk up these stupid stairs? I want to go to the next section.
Yeah.
Damn it.
They're a ladder, not a set of stairs, really.
Yeah. So it finally dawned on me, crap. We just went through this in the Boneyard when we went to clear out the Death Claws when we were going over to see the gun runners.
Right.
You had to go down the stairs to get to the mother. And it was the same stupid thing. It's like, damn it, you don't walk down them, you click it.
You click it, and then it accesses and you go up, right? But it was even, I figured that out, but then I couldn't go back down. How long? Like, I figured out how to go up the stairs to go to Morpheus's room, but then after I killed everyone, I was like, I'm stuck here. I can't go back. Like, you click on one area to go up, and then you have to click on the like sort of down underneath side of it to go down too. And that took me a long time to figure out too.
Yeah, that once I figured out the going up part, I was set. But
I couldn't figure out the go down part. I was like, God damn it. Yeah. But let's see. I'm just trying to think if there's any other sort of. I mean, we'll get into the whole season sort of wrap up here next week, and we'll have
overall
Eric
thoughts
on for our overall thoughts of the game. But it's just the end part here. I'm just trying to think of
So
Special
at
stuff
the very
happening.
least, Tycho lived. So
Oh, you did have
Had
someone
that going
survive.
for
Good
me.
job. Good job.
yeah, one of them lived.
Yeah,
I just missed him after I took the plasma cannon.
and if we want to keep playing, we just have to reload before the end because we're not once the end credits roll, you're done, right? The game is over. You can't.
Yeah, there's an option. You can either stay in the world, and it'll make a save for you, or you could end it and be done.
So you can go out more.
Yeah.
Oh. Gosh, I'll have to load it up and see what I did. All right. Any other final thoughts there, you guys, on our last quests? The military base and the cathedral? Again, we'll get into our general wrap-up thoughts more next week when Eric, a.k.a. Solior, joins us to discuss his end of the game. So looking forward to that next week. Let's go ahead and roll into a little bit of iguana bits here, Jess. What do we got coming up?
So there's not a whole lot on the schedule, but there was word from the mothership this week a little bit. So as we know, as I've been saying, because there's not much on the schedule for the last couple weeks, Fasnacht starting soon, but guys, we're in the final countdown. You have 5 days. Fasnacht is on Valentine's Day, the 14th.
Oh, wow.
So y'all got your marching orders. Get over there and get ready.
All right. We were talking a little bit before the show. I know Ashley has already got some like crazy new outfit. I was like, hey, how'd you do that? And I was worried if Fasnacht had already started, but you said there's stuff in the Atomic Shop that you can, buy.
Okay, here's what's going on there. So yeah, next up that I was going to mention is the Atomic Shop this week right now. So there are some new masks coming, but most likely in the Atomic Shop. There's also currently an outfit. So the outfit you saw Ashley wearing is called the Fasnachtler. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's like hilarious. Fasnacht with LER at the end. So it's the Fasnachtler, and it's a ridiculous laughing clown mask. Yeah. So even bigger than the last one, and a new outfit to go with and stuff. And that's free for Fallout First members.
Oh, sweet. I need to log in for that.
Yep, and that's until March 7th. So even if you don't get in time for Fasnacht, you can still get it till the end of the month.
Oh, nice.
March 7th. So you got that. The ammo storage box is still in there too. Make sure you log in and get your ammo storage box. I don't know if that's going to come out of the shop or not, but just in case, they seem to give you things perpetually, but every once in a while there's things offered for first that do disappear.
Yeah.
So looking at other items this week. So this isn't Fasnacht related, but in the shop, there are some pretty cool items this week. They've got this bundle they're calling the Grease Goblin bundle, which is basically working on hot rodders, so kind of Atom Cats like.
Nice.
There's an amazing Pegasus weapons bench, which is it's really cool. It's very Atom Cats. It's got blue enamel. It looks like something you'd find inside of a garage. They've got the hot rod up on blocks. We finally have a real car in Fallout for the first time that we can put down.
No way.
Yeah, not just a Fusion Flea stash box. It's actually a full car. Very cool looking. And a bunch of stuff to go with it. There's a greaser jacket and jeans. The hot rod bundle is back in. Something called the Neutronite backpack, which, do I have a picture of it? No, that was data mined earlier. I've seen it. It's all kind of got like car vibes to it, like carburetors and hoses and stuff like that.
Fun.
But yeah, that's the aesthetic for this one. So that's pretty cool. Coming up for Fasnacht as well, not only do we have the marching and stuff like that, the usual for 2 weeks, and people are already building their Fasnacht camps, because you mentioned how you thought maybe it had already started because of Ashley's outfit and some of the people talking about it. Really, people are just, it's something to look forward to. A lot of people on Scorecation, and so they're already building their Fasnacht camps. I've been seeing a lot of that out there.
Yeah. Gotta get your idle camp set up there so you can steal all the masks without putting any effort, you jerks.
As far as I know, the drop rate isn't better and hasn't changed.
Of course not. Why would it?
We don't believe there are new masks in the pool this time. So here's the thing. We know that there are the new Queen mask. It's like Queen, King, and Duke, essentially. Queen, King, and Jack. Makes sense, playing cards. Now, we think they're going to be in the shop. The actual wording in the inside the vault, they say, complete the event before timers runs out, get you exciting theme rewards that will make you the talk of Appalachia. Who doesn't want to show off the year's new face adornments, the king, queen, and jack masks? So you read that, you're like, okay, finishing on time, you get rewards. So it's not like there's going to be a reward for the March. But then it goes on to say, check out the Atomic Shop during the event and pick up some new masks to show off your noble side. And that's where they have the picture. So I'm wondering if either there's going to be new masks in the loot pool and like they've done in the past, a different version of them in the Atom Shop, like different color, different version like they've done before.
Right, yeah.
Or if they're just in the Atomic Shop. I don't know which yet. The data mine seemed to show it being Atomic Shop. Looking at Mad Dot Grot, he's the Belgian data miner that gets a lot of stuff for us. He says he thinks that they are going to be just Atomic Shop, so that would be fine because we've already got enough masks in the pool that we're trying to win.
I mean, they're never, outright clear, but to me that wording would mean Atomic Shop only. I agree with the poster, right?
Yeah, that's what I think too. It makes sense. I just wish they would come out and state it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they're a little bit more clear than they were this time. But hey, maybe you guys get lucky and get a beret. You never know.
I only have 50,000 of those.
No, I have 50,000. So, give me more. Let's see. But not only do we have Fashnacht, but we have a new event. Not an event, more like a challenge event. So we've talked about how the Heart Wrencher, you guys know the cool pipe wrench that you make look like roses.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great if they did something with that again? That was cool 2 years ago, but they haven't done anything since. Well, this year, they're doing something they call the Spread the Love event. Now, I don't know the details of it, but they say you're going to put on a free rose pantsuit. So they're going to put in the Atomic Shop this Tuesday a new pantsuit that's with roses on it. And it says, bring some love to the wasteland, completing specific challenges while wearing the pantsuit. You may have to search high and low to complete these scavenger hunt challenges, but the challenge-themed rewards will capture the spirit of the season. So special challenges, wearing the suit to get things. You know what? I'm reading this and what it actually says to me, Andrew. It says, we're putting something you need to do in the middle of your scorecation.
Yeah,
that's what it says to me.
Absolutely. But this isn't Heart Wrencher stuff. This is something else.
No, it doesn't seem to be. No, it's spread the love, wear a suit, and do some kind of scavenger hunt challenge. So I'm guessing it's going to be collect and eat. Probably, let's see, dog food and pre-war food.
Yeah,
No.
it's going to be eat 38 cans of dog food. Like, God damn it.
They say it reflects the spirit of the season, so it will hopefully be somehow Valentine's related.
We're going to have a heart-shaped pizza. You see a billion ads for the stupid.
A great reminder from Clint in chat. Don't forget during Fashnacht, the beeswax gives you acid. I collected 10,000 acid last year.
He loves that acid, and I'm like, what the fuck are you using all that acid for? Why do you need the acid? He must be using it for ammo or something, right?
Yeah, the acid is a real trip. You can, smelt your ore with it and stuff.
Yeah, it's. I'm baffled as to why he needs 10,000 acid.
I used to run out of it too often, but because during meat week, I'm right near the prime meats with crickets and creatures that spell a lot of acid, I don't have to worry about it so much. Lee is almost at scorecation. He's at rank 9 now. No, that's Sullivan is rank 9. I think Lee is still on scoretirement.
Oh, man.
I love that joke from Will last week with you and Ray and such about scoretirement. That's fantastic.
Hilarious.
Lee is actually at rank 10, so he's right there too. Okay, that makes sense. And really for Iguana Bits, that's kind of all we have. The events coming up and Fashnacht. I did want to segue over into the Facebook group. Just a note, Bob Carroll posting in chat, getting my ass kicked in the Sierra Madre. So we know Bob has been, he's been finishing up Oblivion and also doing Fallout New Vegas. Getting the DLC that you didn't do, Andrew, the Sierra Madre, that's the Dead Money DLC we were all like.
I've only done one of them. We did the one with the indigenous
Honest Hearts.
folks. Honest Hearts, right.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's the only one I've done. I haven't done any of them. Dead
Money is the one that is, it becomes more of a horror game. It's very stealth-based, very scary. A lot like the Cathedral, actually. But it has some good characters, good theme. And Marigold's really wanted to see us suffer under that one at the time, which is one reason why we started doing. And then we stopped doing the New Vegas DLC before we got to it. Because we just weren't there. But anyway, he says, I'm getting my ass kicked. Should I take Dog around and clear out the 3 areas, then take people to their spots? So what he's talking about, Dog is a super mutant that you meet in the Sierra Madre who works with you. Oh. And there are other characters that you meet as well. What is it, Dean Domino and Christine? And they have to go to certain locations to do things as the game goes on. And he's wondering if he should clean them out first. And the answer is yes. Yeah. People are fragile. Go sneak with dog, wipe things out, and then, take your time. But Lacey has the best advice. And she says, I found it works best if you uninstall that DLC and pretend it doesn't exist.
That makes it easy.
Yeah. That was easy. So we got that, and people going through different things. We got people in Skyrim and all kinds of games. I feel like besides Sullivan's playing Fallout 1, and of course Sully and Lou, I'm not sure how many people stuck with the playthrough besides that of Fallout 1, but it's been an adventure. So yeah, we'll hear from a few next week. Did you want to bring up the choir again, Andrew?
Oh yeah, I should have done this at the top of the damn show. If you are interested in singing on a Red Queen Hypothesis Fallout themed Christmas song, please get a hold of us at the falloutfeed@gmail.com. I've got 4 little audio files, and all I want you to do is just match the singing that I'm doing on that file. And I've got instructions all written out and everything how to do it. So if you're interested in participating, hopping on a Christmas song, please go ahead and get a hold of us. I would like all of those submissions back by February 19th if I could, just so I can have a few days to mix and master and get everything smashed together before I have to submit this recording project at the end of the month. So you got another week or so. If you'd like to help out, please do so. Even if you hear this a week after and you still want to hop on, I can still probably toss you on. So just go ahead and get a hold of us, thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. And I'd love to include every single person who listens to this podcast in on this little fun project. And it is not a prerequisite that you be a decent singer. I'm trying to see how much I can mix this together and make it sound good without everyone. People are intimidated. They don't want to sing in public and everything. I get that. I'm not going to call anybody out or identify anybody by name, so no one will know if you're a good singer or not. Just you'll be in this song. And I think that would be fun. This is a very community-oriented podcast, and it's just another way to extend out the sort of the brotherhood of our
when we do this sort of thing, it is the best way to do it. I was glad to see some of the Twitter community on Scorecation themselves kind of piping up and joining in, and some people in the Facebook group. Honestly, Andrew, I feel the love radiating in our home.
I feel the love radiating through our home.
I'm going to have to ask you about one of the lyrics, though. I didn't quite understand one of them.
I've got the lyrics written down in the README sheet if anyone has any of that. So the instructions, lyrics, all that stuff are in the README. I'll send you a link to a folder. In that folder, there's 4 sound files. You can feel free to sing along to one or all 4 of them if you'd like. And, instructions and all that are in the README file. So. When you send back your files, I just want to hear your voice. Don't send me back anything that I have recorded. I just want your voice so that I can layer it in. That's the whole point of the 2-device system that I explained in the README there. And I really appreciate anyone who is stepping out of their comfort zone and into an RQH song. So much appreciated, folks.
Another quick shout out. Eurogamer did an article this week. So, there are articles about 76 off and on, various things happening in game. Well, Eurogamer wanted to check in again, and state of the game, Fallout 76, wandering the waste once more with meaning, the brave nuke world. And this was a nice write-up about where 76 is at right now, looking at some of the history, and this person who hadn't played much, their experience in the game, which, as you guys know, the game's in a pretty good place these days. And so it's a really nice kind of positive thing about, where the game's at, her experience in the game, and talking about some of the communities, including some stuff that we're all involved in, like the theater company and various event streams and stuff that we've done. So just a really fun article. That's on Eurogamer.net. And mentioning the theater company, I want to say that there was also an article in The Guardian like 2-3 weeks ago. I don't think I ever put in the shout-outs. So it was really cool to have a real paper, a non-gaming press. The Guardian UK is a UK newspaper. And in their theater section, do a little write-up about the Wasteland Theater Company.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so I just thought that was really fun. And rehearsal is starting right now for the next show, Alice. So, probably 2 months. Obviously, I'll be talking about it once we get in, like a week or 2 before, once getting all the streams set up and stuff. I'll let you guys know when that's going to be. But
right on.
Excited about that.
Very cool. All right, guys, we got anything else you want to get into tonight?
I see a scorecation on the list.
I would like to extend a very warm congratulations to Soph May, and so would Mo.
Scorecation!
Congratulations on your scorecation, Soph. All right, you guys. I think that sounds pretty good. I've been enjoying playing Fallout 1 a lot, but we'll get into our general sort of wrap-up of it next week, so tune in to 402 when Eric will be joining us to get into that. Ray, you can find him over there at RayLB on the Twitter. Also, for all of your No Man's Sky needs, if you want to see Baker play his deck thing with his tongue, is he playing? I don't understand. I don't know how he's playing this thing, but he's got a Bob Dylan style harmonica player thing. He's holding his deck up to his face. He's such a deck face, that guy. So check out the BBCISSS Butcher Baker Candlemaker in Space show at BBCISSS on Twitter or at RayLB. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
You can find her at Sleep is 4T, also you Wastelanders, and at Dames Who Game. Jess, thanks so much.
Thank you. Gonna see you guys all out there in the wasteland.
I am at Indie Android. The show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.